Welcome to the channel, King Lizard's Game Lounge, and my third vlog for the channel. In these videos, basically I'm going to cover what I've been up to since my last vlog, as a gamer and a collector, as well as share any news or game releases up and coming that are kind of in my spotlight, if you like, what I'm interested in. So, way back in the days of PlayStation 2, we had this release, which is R-Type Final, and it's a shmup, or shooter, as you might say. Really great game this. Absolutely love this game. You can customize your ship. They're up to 99 plus secret ones that you can unlock in here. Absolutely crazy amount of content. Tons of levels to play, and obviously the idea is it's a bit of an RPG for shmups, if you like. You level up your ship, you go back and you do better because you got better ship and X, Y, and Z, and it just allows you to progress further. But really, really great game this. And one I'd highly recommend if you've still got... Oh, getting a lot of reflection here, sorry about that. If you've still got PlayStation 2, I'd highly recommend this R-Type Final. Really great game. And the great thing is it only sells for £15 to £20 still, so still pretty cheap for a decent copy. But R-Type Final 2 releases April 30th, and that is a big one for me. I'm really looking forward to that, as a good friend of mine is as well, and a number of other people I follow on Instagram. So I'll definitely be sharing some footage of that and stuff once I actually get the game and get some time to play it, or in maybe one of these vlogs or something. So quite excited for that on April 30th. The other thing that I've been doing and completed just over a week ago, Killzone on PlayStation 2, although I'm actually playing the PlayStation 3 digital variant. Sorry about that, camera juggling. Really great shooter this, and obviously it's aged a bit. I actually played this originally on PlayStation 2, completed it, maxed out all harnesses, did everything I could in the game, and really enjoyed it back in the day. This thing was a complete blast. Obviously these days, graphically, it's not as impressive, but it still actually looks really good. And I found that it was a little clunky initially, and the biggest thing for me was getting used to that RB button for shooting on PlayStation. Why did they do that? I don't get it. That was my biggest adaptation. Once I got around that, it's actually not a bad shooter still, and it still works pretty well. All of the shooting except for the sniping is done in first person, so you kind of aim, you see the gun and you're aiming the reticle and stuff. But it's very much a sci-fi variant of a war game, this. That's all it is. You've got the Hellghast against the humans, and one of the biggest complaints about this game on release was that there wasn't enough variety in the enemy and stuff. For me, that's not an issue. I actually see it as a war game, and I actually really enjoyed it. There's a ton of different weapons in here. You had rocket launchers, you had various different pistols, revolvers, shotguns. Quite a few of the weapons had secondaries like grenade launchers or shotguns on the assault rifles and stuff, sniper rifles of course, and it was just really good fun playing this again. It took me from late last year I started playing Killzone again, and I think it was a couple of weeks back I actually finally completed it. And one of the things I was quite surprised about with Killzone is that it's actually a huge game. There's every level, if you like, it's 4 or 3 segments, which themselves are at least 15 minutes long, and there are 11 chapters. So in each of those 11 chapters, you've got 4 or 3 segments, and it's actually a big game. And one I'd still recommend if you've got PlayStation 2 and you've not played this, you like FPS, you want some good action, and something that still looks reasonably okay still. I'd recommend this. For me, this is still an 8 out of 10 game. I actually really enjoyed playing this again, and one of the things I'm going to be doing over the hopefully the course of this year, I'll get it all done, is playing the Killzone series. I did play bits of the other games, but I never completed them, and I really want to complete them. And even though I'd played this before, I wanted to play this as a refresher, Killzone, before I got into the rest of the series, and just see how they stood up really. And maybe I might do a video for the channel based on my experiences of the series, and just, you know, cover what I like and don't like about the series and stuff. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Took me a few months to get completed because of my sleep issues, but yeah, really enjoyed playing Killzone again, and I'd highly recommend it if you've got PlayStation 2 and you like your FPSs. That's dirt cheap still. I've seen that for like 50p. It's crazy. So one of the biggest things that happened since my last vlog is Sony announced its closure for the PlayStation Network and PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita or PS Vita, and PSP, PlayStation Portable. As of July 2nd, 2021, you will no longer be able to buy new content or existing add-ons for your games on those platforms. Pretty sad times indeed. However, I'll be honest, I've actually been expecting this quite a long time ago. As far back as 2018 was when I originally thought they'd do this. So, for it to last until now was actually a bit of a godsend for us retro gamers that like to return to the older consoles. Sad times indeed, but unfortunately a sign of the times, and moving forward. My only big concern is how long has the Xbox 360 store got for Xbox. That's still a store that I delve into and find stuff that I want, and I've actually probably got 4 or 5 things I'm after on there at the moment. So I'm just praying this doesn't inspire Microsoft to make any sudden moves anytime soon, but we'll see, I guess. Another thing I've been up to, those of you that followed me on the channel for a long time will know that I love Forza Motorsport. I've had some fallings out with them on Forza Motorsport 6 for getting banned for no reason. Something that upset me greatly back in the day and resulted in me not playing multiplayer ever again. And I did try multiplayer in Forza Motorsport 7 when it released, and it was a bit of a shambles. One, it wasn't working, and two, people were just driving like idiots, using you as a braking system, and it was just no fun, which is a shame because these games come into their own and are fantastic if you get real races with people. Real races in these games are to treasure. My last real races were in Forza Motorsport 4. After that, it was a bit of a fuckfest, really, more than anything else, because everyone just sees wiping you out on the track as a way of winning a race, and it's not in any way honourable or anything that's an accomplishment. Okay, you were a dickhead and you won the race, well done. I'd rather win the race or come last in the race and have a good race than take everyone else out on the track and actually win the race. I don't see the point of it, So I returned to this. Been doing a bit of Rivals in it. I might put some videos up in the not too distant future. I've really missed playing this, and I actually was quite surprised because I jumped in with friends to do some private racing, and sadly they've not added bots to this still, which I think is ridiculous. If you're playing private, you should be able to add a full field of bots to the game and race against them, but you can't, which is a big reason why at least 10 of my friends didn't buy this game. Some of them have it now thanks to Game Pass, but they actually avoided it like the plague when I told them there was no private gaming with AI, which is how me and my friends always played this. Big shame, but I love Rivals. Obviously, again, very annoyingly, this game came out with no rivals. All they had to do was add a menu system and a way of tracking people's scores and stuff. Everything else was there in the game, and I actually was very frustrated and disappointed with Forza Motorsport 7 because there were no rivals. They added it like a year later, and by the time they added it, I kind of had a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, you know what, screw you guys, I'm not going to play your game. I did, of course, because I'm weak and I like to return to the game, but really great race this, really like it, but for me the magic's still with Forza Motorsport 4. I'm currently replaying 5 because I lost all my save data, so I'm hitting Forza Motorsport 5 again and actually thoroughly enjoying that as well. But yeah, I've been hitting Rivals in this again, and I did actually check out multiplayer with a friend, and I actually quite like the look of what they've done, because now they've got like penalties if someone hits you from behind and stuff. and it kind of decides whether or not you were wrongly done by, and then punishes the person behind you. So I might actually return to some multiplayer for this. We'll see. Time dependent and obviously being awake dependent. But yeah, I've returned to Forza Motorsport 7 and 5, and I've also been hitting Forza Horizon 3, 2, and 4 on and off with friends in the evening, when just for quick bursts. Love this steelbook as well. I think I showed you, but I'm going to show you again because it looks awesome. Really nice steelbook, this. And it's got the Porsche on it, obviously, which I don't know if you've watched it back in the day when I posted it, but I did like a competition with some other YouTubers where we all kind of went against each other in Forza Motorsport 7 to try and match Porsche's record on Nuremberg. My video is still up on the channel. Hasn't got a massive amount of views, I think it's like 80 odd views. But it was me, Racing Monkey, and a couple of other YouTubers. But yeah, we all kind of went in and tried to do our best. I was the only one with a clean lap, by the way. Considerably slower than the other guys, but I had a clean lap. Great game. The other thing I got this week, which I was really excited for, was I'm a big Dead Rising 2 fan. It's my favourite game from the series, purely because I find it the most playable out of the first two games. And I love the Chuck Greene character in the game, as well as the storyline and how the game works. For me, I like the first game, but I find the first game quite frustrating because I feel like I can't complete it unless I've got a game guide. And I really don't like that about games where you have to have a guide to get everything. You can't work it out for yourself, or it's just too difficult to. Dead Rising 2, on the other hand, was a game where you could pretty much follow the plot line, and it was reasonably easy to follow. There were a few bits that were tricky, but it was a big improvement over the first game. And like I said, I really like the story and character of Chuck. Now, getting onto the character of Chuck, there's a guy on Instagram, Peter Fleming, who you also know from Stargate Sg1. He played Agent Malcolm Barrett in the series, something my mum loved back in the days. Stargate 1. I didn't massively watch it. I did watch quite a few seasons on and off, but because I was working heavily at the time, I didn't see all of it. I sort of caught bits, but I did actually enjoy what I saw of the series. But my mum loves Stargate in a big way. But anyway, getting on to the point, the real Chuck Greene sent me a signed autograph, which I'm really chuffed to have. I'll be doing a post for this on Instagram. Big honour to receive this in my collection, because I'm a big Dead Rising 2 fan. So there you have it. I laughed, I cried, it sucked. That's pretty much me, actually. It's a good phrase for the King Lizard. The other thing I said I'd get to in my last vlog was Viking Battle for Asgard on Xbox 360. I didn't get to it. I didn't get the time. And I'll be honest, with my depression, I've had quite a rough week in terms of mental health and stuff, and I find it really difficult to get into new games. So I just couldn't get into this. I wanted to, I just didn't have the mindset for it. So I ended up playing a lot of stuff that I already know how to play, basically. But I will endeavour to try and get to Viking Battle for Asgard for the next vlog. We shall see. The other thing I've been playing, I returned to so I can actually finish it this time, because I'm pretty certain I didn't finish this originally because I don't remember the ending of the game. Resident Evil Revelations. This one's actually a nice sealed copy. I've got a digital version. Really great return to horror, this. Obviously, before this you had Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, then you had the Raccoon City element. All were more engaged in action-based Resident Evil gameplay. And obviously fans of horror were not so taken with the new change to action and horror mix. I personally loved Resident Evil 4. It's my all-time favourite game. But I did welcome the return to more horror-orientated experience, as in Resident Evil Revelations, which is where it all started again. And really good game this. Actually quite enjoying it. I'm nearly at where I used to be when I originally first played. I think I'm either on Act 5 or I'm finishing Act 5 and jumping into Act 6. And the bit I'm on is quite tough. It's got these, these fish organisms that have mutated in the water, and they're a complete git to kill, or at least I'm finding them hard. There's a dodge system in the game, and it just seems to be luck for me. I'm obviously doing something wrong. So if you know how to play it and do the dodge properly, drop me a comment because I'll be happy for it. I'm really struggling with the dodging. It just seems like sometimes I'm lucky, sometimes I'm not. But yeah, really great game this anyway. Loving this, and I'll let you know how I get on once I get it completed, obviously. The other thing I returned to, Injustice 2. I love Injustice 2. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I play the hell out of this thing. I've been playing it since release on 2015, and for me it's just easy to step into. Good fun, and I actually do really well online with this as well. I've got quite a few videos up on the channel if you haven't seen them already, with ranked and player matches against other people I don't know. The other thing I've been trying to do is get into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and I bought this originally for the campaign, as I said in my first vlog, I think, and I've still got the original Black Ops campaigns to complete, as in the second, third games. I've done a good portion of the second Black Ops, which I'm really enjoying. I'm not a fan of the third. I had all kinds of bugs trying to play the third originally. So I need to return to that as well before I get onto this. But what I have been doing in here is playing zombies and hitting the season pass and stuff without spending money, I'll add, because I don't like doing that. And zombies, when it works on here, is really great fun. But therein lies the issue. It rarely works, to the point it's living frustrated. So, Activision, £65 of my money, and I can barely play the game that I want to play very often without it crashing and me losing everything. I don't get any XP, I don't get anything when this thing crashes, and 95% of the time it does exactly that. You should be ashamed of yourselves. So, kind of got fed up with that game. I stopped playing it for a week. My friend contacted me yesterday, and we did play a bit yesterday, but I'm kind of getting a bit warm thin with that. The other game I've been trying to play is Outriders. I'll do a separate video on that. I actually love the game, but again, it's got reliability issues, and I'll share more of that in a separate video. The other thing I returned to with a friend was Strange Brigade. Really enjoy this on Xbox One. Would highly recommend it as well. It's basically an honour to, or an honourable mention to, the days of the matinee in the 1930s and 40s, where you had these intrepid adventurers that go out, and you'd get like tomb raiding and all this kind of stuff, and jungles and ancient tribes, and this game just reeks of matinee nostalgia for me. Matinee nostalgia, I'll say. And it's actually really cool. Some really cool bosses in this, and as a horde game, it's great fun. I've got through, I think, 2 or 3 sets of rounds for the horde, and actually really enjoyed it. I might even have some footage somewhere I'll put up on the channel. But I've been hitting a little bit of the campaign with a friend, really enjoying this one again. And this is criminally dirt cheap. For me, this is a game that should have done really well, and sadly it didn't. I don't know why, because it is actually a really good game, and it's also a highly detailed graphical experience. It looks fantastic, and it plays really cool too. And then finally, the other game I've been hitting again, although I've been doing it a little bit solo, I do prefer this with co-op, is SnowRunner. Its forerunner, forgive the pun, is MudRunner, which is also a really good game. And key aspects of this is pretty much a what's the word? Kind of a terrain simulator. You're driving these jeeps, trucks, lorries, trying to get loads from point A to point B, unlock areas of the map, and you're driving some pretty rough terrain that deforms as you drive over it. And basically, you know, your vehicles have winches on them. You can help each other out of binds, and you know, try and stop your friends, you know, from losing their load and stuff. And you can play this single player, but its magic is within its co-op. There's nothing quite like, you know, driving as a convoy through the forest, trying to deliver these logs, and one of your friends is falling off the edge of a bridge, and you're trying to winch save them with the winch on your car to stop them going over the bridge and losing the last hour of play, and having to start over. But you know, or even real life scenario when I was playing with friends, you know, someone is literally off of the edge of a cliff and you're trying to save their ass by winching them back up again before they drop to the bottom of it, and it's kind of, you know, back to the base and start over. Really good fun, this, you know, I can't recommend this enough. Definitely play it co-op though, because it is a fantastic experience, and if you haven't played Mud Runner, I'd recommend that too, because that's dirt cheap. I've seen that for as little as £5 now. Fantastic experience this, really enjoy it, highly recommend it. The only other thing I'd like to mention again, and it will be the last time I mention it, is Game Attack Stories by Tommy Keogh. I'm in this book, and you know, I've got my Game Attack story in here for those of you who might be interested. I bought this because I've got a lot of friends on Instagram, and quite a few of them are in here. So it's just a nice bit of memorabilia, and also something I can learn more about other gamers on Instagram. So that's pretty much me done and dusted at this point. It's pretty hard to try and tie these down to 15 minutes, these videos, so I'm kind of going with the flow and trying to keep it short as I can, and just choosing a few subjects to hit along the way. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be back with more next week, maybe the week after at the latest. But if I can do a weekly, I will, but I think reality, maybe these are going to be bi-weekly, we'll see. Big thanks for watching if you got this far. Take care, keep well, most importantly, come back soon.